live stream. So let's see what do we have here. So far we had a really strong rejection, but overall like pretty choppy price movement. We don't have a clear direction. No matter what pair you look, you will see at least on a 30-minute time frame. Not here, let's take a look here. You can clearly see pretty choppy price movement, not a lot of volatility. Just overall, if you see today's highs is, let's say, 4,795, lows were pretty much at the opening, 500 pips overall move through whole day. Consider lows and highs, nothing special. We saw even bigger price movements. Hello. Okay, is that Aurelio? Aha. Welcome. Overall, I do expect, I'm still bearish on gold. I still expect even further continuation to the downside. But for sales, I think I might wait for the news today. Probably this is the only news for this week that is kind of important and that could move the market. It is core PPI and PPI. 2:30 p.m., which means in the 55 minutes. As you can clearly see, forecast is currently higher than the previous numbers, which is kind of expected considering the prices of crude oil went higher. We all know why. We have still a lot of geopolitical events in the Middle East. Not just Middle East, here there is also Russia, Ukraine still. But as you can clearly see, not a lot of people actually talking about that recently, just because the new war is eventually could escalate even more. And that's pretty much the only thing what is moving the market. There's certainly no clear direction, and any markets, it's really hard to predict where the price will go. Even the big players, they're now more focusing on the news, which means what will happen, and they're trying to predict how the Trump will try to solve this problem in the Middle East. And overall, there will still be a lot of volatility, but not clear directions, which means there's no fundamental analysis, at least not for now, that could say for certain, okay, market will go up. There's like 80% of chance to do that, but actually that's not the case. Overall, if we exclude the war on the Middle East, yeah, it's high probability that all the indices, especially the US indices, will continue to go up. But yeah, we all know that one Trump tweets could like kill all the bullishness from the market, and price could continue to go down. Here we have US dollar or US 30, which, yeah, we have a slightly sell-off, but yeah, it's really choppy price movement. I don't think we'll have any bigger move until PPI news. We'll still see a choppiness, but nonetheless I will be looking for longs, for shorts on gold. But before that, I will be waiting for the numbers. If we see higher numbers, that's also kind of tricky part, because if we see higher PPI numbers than forecast, that means that inflation is going up. When we have a high inflation, that means high interest rates. When you have a high interest rates, that means stronger currency. In this case, US dollar will strengthen if we see higher numbers, and technically, in theory, gold should go down then. But also there's a thing that in the high, let's say, inflation environment, usually gold could also go up just because gold is hedged against inflation. Knowing that, we could eventually see price of gold going higher, even if we see higher PPI numbers than forecast. In that case, the US dollar and gold could continue to go up. But I will be playing the shorts. The reason is my analysis tells me that this year we could eventually end up in a recession. And I don't know how old are you, but in 2008 I was also a kid, but I was like 16, 17 years old at that time. In 2008, when we had a recession, usually people think that in the time of recession, price of gold will go up, but that's not the case. At least it wasn't the case in 2008, because if you have more bullishness, because a dollar is hedged, dollar is safe haven currency. If dollar goes up, gold goes down, because there is negative correlation between the two. And that's why at the recession in 2008, gold first went down, then later price of gold went up. So we could expect a similar reaction on gold even this year, especially if we end up in a recession, which could be. But for the moment, let's say short term, I'm still kind of more inclined towards bullishness on all US indices. That will be in the short term, because we are now also in the season of earnings, where companies are reporting their earnings, and in that case, usually they're mostly bullish for the indices. That will probably be the case even today or this month when we have earnings, and then after that we could eventually see. But also depends how the things will go with US, Iran, and Israel war. So we also have to think about that as well. For the moment, if you take a look on a chart on the 5-minute time frame, we have a volume footprint. Most of the time, last few candles on the 5-minute time frame, we have a bullish or positive delta. Pretty much all the candles, last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, we have a positive delta, which means there's still a little bit more buyers than sellers on gold, at least for the moment, but also that could change quickly. If you look at the CVD, price is still going up, and it's kind of obvious that we have a now divergence. When price is going down, as you can clearly see, price is going down, which means price is creating higher lows, but CVD from that point is going up, and CVD is making higher highs. That means that we have a divergence, and soon we could have a price reversal, because price is not following the volume, and once when CVD starts to fall down, you will more likely see price is going even harder down. But in the same time, we could also see a little bit more bullishness on price movement, because price is currently lagging with CVD, and CVD is usually leading indicator, which means what happens on the CVD, more likely price will do the same thing, but a little bit later. Okay, we have a value area. Value area high is here, and the value area is down there. And you can clearly see we had a couple of rejections in the last few hours. We had the first rejection was here, second rejection was here. Point of control 4,769 is where the most volume happened, but you can clearly see we also had a lot of consolidation above the value area high, and value area high could be next possible resistance before price eventually managed to break above that and continue to go higher. Most of the time, whenever you have a strong breakout, price usually tend to go back in a value zone, because then we are in an imbalance zone. All this was imbalance zone, which means the most volume actually happened here, and whenever you see breakout above or below, price usually tend to go back in the value zone. Right now there's nothing much going on, too much noise on the small time frame. On the 30-minute time frame, still strong consolidation, no clear direction. Even if you take a look at on US 30, you can clearly see in the London session we had slightly more bullishness, but yeah, price recovered very quickly and we had a pretty strong sell-off. That was kind of perfect rejection from the previous yesterday highs, or this is actually from 9th of, like 5 days ago. That was Friday. No, that was Friday. Today it's Tuesday. Yeah, probably Friday. This is from Thursday actually. We revisit Thursday highs. Here's a Friday highs, and then Monday we had a pretty strong opening with a gap on the downside. Nothing really happened. We had price kind of recovered very quickly, but good to know is that we had a retest of the even last week highs, which is here. Even if you look on the weekly time frame, you can clearly see that we retested previous week highs. We had a rejection, and that was a pretty strong rejection, as you can clearly see. Also in Friday, price tried to break above that, but it failed. Today we also tried to break above it, but price failed to do that. Strong rejection, a strong sell-off after that. The only thing what could move the price up is very good earnings, and it is kind of high probability that we will have a good earnings this month for most of the companies, and that will eventually push US 30 higher. If you're gonna go on a, like, let's say for daily time frame, that could eventually mean that price could retest this area right here, and after price managed to revisit this area, I will be looking for sells. Do I think that price will create a new all-time highs? In my opinion, with this market environment, it is less likely, and it is more likely that price will continue to go down, but we could eventually retest those highs. We could have a choppy price movement at the resistance, and then we could expect continuation. But also that could everything fall apart if we see one negative tweet from Trump, and that could mean that price will fall down much faster than we think that price could. So since I'm still bearish on US market, long term, short term, just like I said, more likely we could see a little bit more bullish just because of the earnings. I will be looking for sells at the all-time highs. The same things apply right now in gold, where I will be looking for sells. If you follow the market for the last few weeks, you could clearly see that gold and US indices they're kind of moving in the same direction. Whenever the US indices trying to go up and make new highs, the same thing happens with the gold as well. because a couple of weeks ago there was a situation whenever US indices went down, gold went down as well. And I remember it was a New York session. I wasn't streaming that time. It was a New York session and the US indices actually went down, but gold went up. And that was actually the first time in like 2 weeks that gold went in the opposite direction from US indices. And I believe that gold was in that moment around 4,200 or 4,300. And from that moment, I knew that gold will go up above 4,700. But yeah, as you can clearly see, the price even went retested 4,800 and then stopped. On a daily time frame, you can clearly see there is a lot of rejection. There is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, 6 big rejections on gold, and that's why I will be playing shorts even today, expecting that gold will continue to go down. Now what I should do is pretty much go on a smaller time frame and try to find the best possible entry for me. Oh damn. Okay, that was pretty big push to the downside. What do we have? Nothing. Okay, that was just on a 5-minute time frame. You can clearly see, like last 2 candles, we have a negative delta. Not a lot of contracts, around 1.2k. Still kinda too early to go with the sells. That's why I will wait a little bit longer. I mean, we could say that we have confirmation that price might continue to go down, but just like I said, if we see positive or negative news, price of gold could eventually continue to go up. More likely gold will go up if we see lower PPI numbers than expected in forecast. That will more likely pull the price of gold down. But even if we see positive news or negative news means stronger gold. Even if that happens, I will be looking for shorts of gold. That will be just like buy the news, sell the facts. I mean, look at this choppy price movement on US 30. Last 20-30 minutes, price literally didn't move. We had pretty much the same situation in the London session on German 40, when pretty much 5 50-minute candles on DAX were pretty much dodgy candles, no clear direction. Is this even moving? Yeah, it's moving. Divergence looks pretty good right now. Even CVD started to go down. Delta is negative. Current candle, we still have a positive delta. But soon I might enter in a short position on gold. Even though currently 30-minute time frame still has a positive delta, previous candle was also positive delta. We had a lot of imbalance here. I will stick to 5-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame, still no clear direction. We'll also have inside bar candle, a lot of rejection. Let me remove drawings, it will be much clearer price movement. I mean, this potentially means the price of gold could go down, but at the same time I don't want to rush with conclusions and go with unnecessary trades, which I could get stopped out because of the PPI news. That's why only if I see a really good setup, I will go with the sells on gold before the news. But for the moment, the only thing I could do is pretty much just observe the price movement and wait for the right opportunity, because for the moment I'm not seeing any potential trade. Only thing what we could also mention is that the reason why I'm not entering the position, we have here weekly pivot point, which is sitting around, it's actually daily pivot point which is sitting around 4,777. You can clearly see this zone right here is pretty strong rejection zone. A lot of volume happened here. Previous resistance, then support. Now price broke that, but yeah, just like I said, if I'm not like pretty confident in a setup, I don't think I will go with the sells, but I will be looking for sells, not for buys. Even daily time frame, you can argue that daily time frame looks extremely bearish. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Okay, around 73 we have a lot of imbalance, which means we have a significantly bigger amount of sellers than buyers, more than 400%. You can also go to settings and you will have here imbalance. I managed to put 400%, but you could put like whatever number you like. That could be 1000%, but kind of 400 is kind of good. But also if I have like here 18, here 12 too, that's more than 400%, but at the same time I would like to see a little bit like more like 100 contracts versus like 10 contracts or 20 contracts, something like that. Not like 18 versus 2, it's nothing. I want to see a bigger amount of contracts selling around this area where we have this imbalance right there. Yeah, US 30 is going nowhere. That's why this push on gold means nothing, and we could quickly see a little bit more bullishness and more bullish momentum, and price could jump and break above this imbalance zone. Okay, you can clearly see why. Okay, damn, look at that. And this is what I'm saying, what I was saying, that could quickly, look at this bullish move, look at this imbalance right now. Insane. A lot of bullish momentum right now. Just like I said, I will not go with the sells because I was looking at the price movement and I didn't like the setup. And what happened before this bullish move? You can clearly see that we have a couple bearish candles And even current candle managed to break below the previous 5-minute candle with the higher volume, which means we had a spike down. That was pretty much a fast spike down. Whenever you have a fast spike down and price wait for a couple seconds around this area, that means that market is waiting for people to go with the sells. Since this move was so aggressive, a lot of people who scalping the market didn't want to miss this entry. And whenever they have a quick or sharp fall in the market, like we had a couple of minutes ago when current candle managed to break previous candle lows, when we had a pretty strong sell-off, price or market waited for a couple of seconds and then boom, price went up. And that I'm saying about this area right here. This area right here. Market very quickly broke below the lows, waited a couple of seconds for scalpers to enter the shorts because they were expecting even further continuation to the downside, and then completely opposite happened. Then price just went up. And in the same time happened on the bullish side. Price quickly went up, made a bull trap for the buyers, waited a few seconds around, let's say 4,780, waited around here. You could clearly see, if you remember, go back and you'll see price actually stuck in this area for a couple of seconds, waiting for buyers to jump into their longs, and then price went down and get stopped out all the long positions they have entered around above 4,780. That was the perfect example of whenever you have quick jump in price or sell off in price, better wait and see what was the reason for that. Because if you jump immediately into that trade, this could happen and you can get stopped out. I'm saying for the scalpers, if you have a shorts like from this area, let's say 4,780, your buys, probably your stop loss is a little bit bigger. You're not scalping, you're like intraday trading. Scalpers have a really small stop loss and they're in and out in just a few minutes and maybe a few seconds. And as you can clearly see, CVD is still showing a lot of bullish momentum. There we still have a negative correlation, so that means it's just a matter of time when we will see price falling down. But before price goes down, I believe the first price will follow the CVD. Price will go up, then we will see sell-off. And one thing I would like to see is that CVD is going down and price is going up. Then I will enter shorts. And now you can clearly see on the current 5-minute candle, at least for the last few minutes, price is trading within this imbalance zone, which is right here and right here. And price is ranging within this imbalance zone. Okay, we will wait. Let's see US 30. Okay. US 30 also broke above this consolidation zone quickly and got rejected from the value area high. I mean, nothing special. Still nothing special. Although you can clearly see the difference between price and CVD. On price, we had pretty strong bullish candle, but on CVD we had bearish engulfing candle. And although price is moving up, CVD is showing more bearish momentum than the price, which means price could soon continue to go down. And the same thing could happen with the gold. Finally, we have a small consolidation. You can clearly see also we had here consolidation from here, let's say this zone, consolidation, not a lot of volume. That's this area right here. And then we had a pretty strong sell-off, strong bearish candle. Now we also have a consolidation. And if CVD shows me a little bit more bearishness, I will be definitely shorting gold. price is breaking below this zone, balance zone. Still too early to say where the price will go. What I think I like is the CBD is trying to push down. Strong consolidation. I need to see a big, juicy bearish candle on CBD for my confirmation the price will eventually continue to go down. So far, we have one, but my preference is a little bit bigger bearish candle before I go with the sells. But even now, I mean, it will be very risky to go with the sells since we have a news in the 20 minutes, 18 minutes, more precise, 18 minutes left. But CBD is moving to the downside, which I like so far. Here we have a retest of point of control. Let's see weekly employment. Mhm. Okay, I have entered in a small buy in gold, expecting for like a little bit more bullishness. My entry is around 69.36. Stop loss 56.27. TP could be slightly higher, but for the moment it will be 4,800, which could be next strong psychological level of resistance. Okay, gold is going down. I kind of expected that gold will go down, but I was expecting a short term price could revisit this value area high one more time before we see a bigger sell off. Probably I will close my position before PPI. Pretty strong CVD right now. Moving stop loss below this lows. Yeah, I will close this position before the news, because I'm more inclined towards sell some gold, but short term, who knows what will happen before the news, and again it will be kind of stupid to hold position. It will be stupid to hold position before the news, since I'm really not sure where the price will go, but my forecast says that we could see slightly higher numbers, which will be actually inflationary, and that could push the price of gold even lower. So eventually, if we see price going up, I will be shorting. Okay, yeah, 2 minutes left. One minute. I will try to catch the spike up and we see that. Around the good sales will be around 4,780. let's see the number. Let's see PPI month on month. Yeah, I'm shorting. Yeah, that's kind of bullish for gold. I entered buy. Let's maybe target could be slightly higher, above 4,800 just because of the news. A lot of bullish momentum. Maybe this weekly pivot point 4,817 could be the target. That's all because of the news. And then after that, I mean, I will probably consider shorting gold, but still could be slightly bullish. Yeah, now one thing what we can do is just wait. News are bullish for gold. Hopefully gold will continue to go up. If not, I mean, it is what it is. Stop loss is maybe too tight, but yeah, if you feel comfortable having a bigger stop loss, feel free to do it. For the moment, I think that if price managed to break below 4,750, 55, that eventually price will not go down, go up. It will continue to go down, and I do not expect such a huge pullback before we see further continuation. So if we're gonna see bullish momentum, that will be more likely from this point. But if price managed to break below a value area low, then it will be probably game over, and we will see further continuation to the downside, and this news will have no effect on gold. But for the moment, there is still a high probability that we will see continuation to the upside, and we will potentially see breaking above 4,800, and eventually we could now break above this resistance on a daily time frame and eventually see closure. That will be closure above 4,800 on a daily time frame. On a 4-hour time frame, not this, on a 4-hour time frame, Price movement still looks bullish. Weakest revisit does 4,830, which would be great. But yeah, only thing what we can do right now is just to wait. Hopefully we will see more volume and more bullishness on gold and eventually break out above resistance, break out above daily highs and test of the weekly pivot point, which is sitting around 4,870. So that's being said, thank you guys for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, and see you tomorrow in the morning probably. So thank you guys, take care, and bye bye.